Hello children, how are you all? Hope you are fine and good. I am a teacher Dakshayani from Bhadasnar Metric Higher Secondary School, Arakonam. Children, today we are going to see 11th standard zoology chapter 4. The chapter name is organ and organ system in animals. Let us go into the topic. So first let us see the introduction to this topic, right? What is an organ, children? Group of tissues form a organ. Yes, in the previous chapter we studied the group of cells form a tissues, and here the tissues together they form a organ. So tissues together they form a organ, and all the organs together function to form a organ system. Organ system. And in this chapter we are going to study about the organ systems, right? About the three important organisms. The first one is we are going to study about the earthworm, and the second one is about the cockroach, and the third one is about the frog. So these are all the three organisms, and we are going to discuss the organ system, different types of organ system of these three organisms. And next we are going to see what do you mean by morphology and what do you mean by anatomy. What is morphology, children? Morphology. Morphology is the study of external characters. Study of external, that is, if you just look, what are all the physical things you see, that is morphology. So external, study of external structures, we say it as morphology. Next one is anatomy. Anatomy is the study of internal organs. Yes, if you see the body, if you cut, anatomy means to cut, right? For example, in the plant we can say TS of dicot stem, cross section, transverse section, right, and vertical section. Likewise, how the internal structures of the organisms we can study by using the anatomy. So anatomy is the study of internal organs. So in this chapter we are going to discuss about the morphology as well as the anatomy of these three organisms. Let us go into the topic. So first we are going to discuss about the earthworm, and we are going to see the taxonomic position, how the earthworms are classified. The first one is phylum, right? To which phylum the earthworm belongs, children? Yes, very good, Annelida. It belongs to the phylum Annelida. And what is the class? The class is Oligochaeta. Oligochaeta. It's an important 2 mark question, children. Write the taxonomic position. Next one, order. What is the order of earthworm? Haplotaxida. Haplotaxida. It is the order. And genus. Now we are going to see the scientific names. The scientific name we know it consists of genus name and the species name. The scientific name of earthworm is Lampito maruti. So the genus name, first name is generic, right? So Lampito. So now we are going to see the species name. Species name should always starts with small letter. So Maruti, M-A-U-R-I-T-I-I, Lampito maruti. So this is the taxonomic position of the earthworm. And next we are going to see some of the characteristics. You know how the earthworms are, children? The earthworms are nocturnal. What do you mean by nocturnal? Nocturnal means they are active only during the night time, and there is a common name. We generally call earthworms as friends of farmers. Why do we call them as friends of farmers? Because they help the farmers in enriching the soil fertility. So we call the earthworms as farmers' friend. And the common Indian earthworms, let us see now. The first one is Lampito maruti, that is a earthworm. Lampito maruti. Lampito maruti, it is a earthworm. And the another species is Perionis excavatus. Perionis excavatus. And this last species is Metaphyre postuma. Metaphyre postuma. They three belongs to the phylum Annelida, children, but they differ only in the morphology, their length as well as the color. So these are all the three common Indian earthworms. They may ask in 2 more questions. Name the common Indian earthworms. You have to write these three. Now we are going to classify the earthworm based on their habitat. You know, children, some earthworm live above the soil, that is upon the earth. We classify them as epigeics. Epigeics. In Greek, epigeics means upon the earth. Upon the earth. Yes, for example, here the earthworms are found on the earth. Epigeics, right? And what is the main food of the earthworm, children? They consume the dead and decay plant matters along with the soil, and after they eat, what happens? They excrete, and by seeing the soil we can identify whether the earthworm is there or not, because you can see the worm castings in the place where the earthworm is there. We can see many granules of soil particles. It denotes that the earthworm is present there. And first one is upon the earth, we say it as epigeics, and some are present in the upper layers of the earth, like this. The upper layers of the earth, we say them as annexes. Annexes. Annexes means on the upper layer. It is present on the upper layer of the earth. The example for epigeics is Perionis excavatus, and the example for annexes is Lampito maruti. What we are going to study in the next classes. So that is the Lampito maruti is example for annexes. They live on the upper layers of the soil. And some earthworms are found in the deeper layers of the soil. Such earthworms are classified under the group endogeics. Endogeics. Endogeics means they are present in the deepest layer. Deepest layer of earth. So this is a 2 mark question, children. They may ask in 3 mark also how the earthworms are classified based on their ecological habitat. So epigeics, annexes and endogeics. Now we are going to see the morphology of Lampito maruti. What is morphology, children? Morphology is the study of physical appearance or the external structures. So just you look into the earthworm, what are the things you feel? Right? It is long and it is narrow. It is cylindrical, right? So these are all the things you can say. And it is long, narrow and cylindrical. And now we shall see the size of it, right? The length of the earthworm is, 80 to 120 millimeter. And the diameter, that is a width. The length is 80 to 120 millimeter and the diameter, that is a width is 3.5 to 5 millimeter, right? And throughout the body you can see many segments, right? It is segmented, and these are all the first segmented worms, right? And phylum Annelida, it is the second largest kingdom, second largest phylum of kingdom Animalia. And this repeated segments, we say it as metameres. Metameres, and this phenomenon we can call it as metamerism. What is metamerism? 2 more questions, children. The earthworm possesses the repeated segments or metameres, and this phenomenon we call it as metamerism, right? And next we are going to see how many segments are there. In Lampito maruti, the segments may vary from nearly 165 to 190 segments. 165 to 190 segments, and you can see it has a opening in the front, it has a prostomium, and at the end it has a anus, mouth and the anus. And you can see some purple color here, children. Actually the earthworms are brown in color, but in the anterior end some purple color is there, right? That purplish color is due to the pigment porphyrin. Porphyrin. Just underline in your book, children. Porphyrin. So these are all the some of the external features of this earthworm. And next we are going to see the some important thing. It has two openings, children. One is the mouth. One important opening is a mouth, and at the end it has a anus. So the opening for mouth, we say it as peristomium. We say it as peristomium. Right. So this is a peristomium, and the peristomium is, if this is a mouth, it is covered by a flap like muscle called as prostomium. Peristomium is covered by prostomium, right? And the next, the last segment I told you, anus, right? The last segment, anus, we say it as pygidium. Pygidium. So these are all the 2 mark question. It's a book back question also, children. What is peristomium and what is prostomium? And you can see all the throughout the body surface segments are present, but except here, right? So this segments from 14 to 17, the segments from 14 to 17, it is thickened and segments are absent. That segment we say it as clitellum. Clitellum, right? We say it as clitellum, and segments are absent. And what is the use of this clitellum? The clitellum helps in cocoon formation. After fertilization, all the fertilized eggs are packed in a structure called cocoon. It is formed inside this clitellum only. So what is the segment, children? Where is the clitellum present? In between the segments 14 to 17. And based on the position of the clitellum, you can divide the body parts as preclitellar. Preclitellar, pre means what? Before, right? So above the clitellum, 1 to 13 segments, we say it as preclitellar region. Preclitellar region. And segments 14 to 17, clitellum. And below that, after 17 segment, right, from 17 segments to from 18 to last, we say it as postclitellar. Postclitellar, right, children? And you can divide the body as dorsal and ventral. Dorsal means what? For us, which is the dorsal side? This is a dorsal side, and front side is a ventral side. Likewise, you can identify the dorsal and ventral sides of the earthworms by the pores, right? Only the genital pores, that is a male and the female genital pore, are present on the ventral surface. By identifying the pores, we can isolate them as a male and the female. And now we are going to see about the pores, right? What are all the apertures? We can say them as apertures, or we can say them as openings also. What are the external apertures? It is a 3 mark question. So what are all the openings present on the body of the earthworm? So first, dorsal pores, right, from the 10th segment, right, 10, 11, 12. After the 10th segment, what is there? First one is dorsal pores. Dorsal pores, they are present on the dorsal side, hence they are called as a dorsal pores. And next come to the ventral side, children. It has a spermathecal openings. What is the use of spermatheca? Spermatheca receives sperms from the male worm, from the other worm. Spermatheca helps in receiving the sperm. So spermatheca openings are present in between the segments of 6 and 7, 7 and 8, and 8 and 9. So 6 and 7, then 7 and 8 and 8 and 9. Spermatical openings are present in this segment. And now we are going to see about the male genital pore. Where is the male genital opening is located? Male genital pore, right? Male genital pore is located here. That is in the 18th segment. Male genital pore occurs in pairs. This one and this one is present in the 18th segment. 18th segment, and the female genital pore, right? It is present in the 14th segment. So, female genital pore, female genital pore is present in the 14th segment. So, from this they may ask enormous of one mark question, children. Right, where are the dorsal pores present, what is prostomium, what is peristomium, where is clitellum present, where are the spermatical openings, where is a male genital pore and where is a female genital pore. Children, now we are going to see about the CT, right? What is CT, children? From the each segment, right, from each segment there arises a small hair-like structures. These structures we call it as setae. Setae or S-shaped. For example, the setae will be like this. The structure of setae will be like this, and it arises from the setigerous sac. It arises from the setigerous sac, right? And what is the main function of the setae? The setae aids in locomotion. It helps in locomotion, and setae is absent in the first segment, that is mouth, anus, as well as it is absent in the clitellum. In rest of all the segments, this setae is present. And now we are going to see about the excretory system, right? Excretion of the annelids is mainly through what? Nephridium. Nephridium, and the nephridium opens in the, this is the structure of the nephridium, children. In each segment the nephridium is located, and nephridium opens into nephridiospores. Nephridiospores. And what is the main function of nephridiospores is excretion, that is eliminating the waste products from the body of the earthworm, and it is ejected through the pores. So, this is the main function of this nephridiospores. And now let us see some important interesting facts regarding this, children. See, just look into this earthworm, how big it is, right? It is like a snake, right? It is a then scientific name of this is Microchitus rapi, right? This is nearly 22 feet length, children, and it resembles like a snake. You just look into it how big it is, right? And it is found in the South Africa. It is said to be the African giant earthworm, right? And the another one important species is Dravida nilamburensis. Dravida nilamburensis, it is a native of Kerala, right? And its the length of this is nearly 3 feet, right? So, it is the longest earthworm, right? These two are some interesting facts regarding to this lesson. So, let us recap what are all the things we studied, children. We studied about the, first we discussed about the morphology of earthworm. We studied what is morphology, right? And then we discussed what is anatomy, and in the morphology we have discussed about the segments, right? About the segments and about the classification, how the earthworms can be classified, and then we discussed about the, and next we discussed about the setae and what are all the pores present in the body of the earthworm. We have discussed in this session about the morphology of the earthworm. This is the assessment given related to this topic, children. Just go through it. With this session comes to an end. In the description we have attached the study material, assessment and question bank for this lesson. Go through it children. Have a nice day. Thank you.